Yeah, well, don't say nothing. I woke up like this. I don't know what the hell happened here. All I know is, these teeth are a lot better than the ones I actually had. I don't know what did this. It could have been, maybe I ought to lay off this shit, or maybe Tony Khan actually is a subscriber, and he had Danhausen put a curse on me. I don't know. But anyway, somebody must have listened. Punk, the belt has been vacated, not interim champ. There's going to be a tournament. The trios title was vacated. So it looks like somebody actually did something smart for a change. Like I said, maybe Tony subscribes to this channel. I don't know. Maybe he sick Danhausen on me and threw this curse on me. I don't know. But anyway, that's the way it is. Yeah, I don't know what to say here. Funny thing is, you talk about the wrestlers in AEW. Somebody brought up Orange Cassidy with his Slacker gimmick, and I said, I saw a match in, I believe it was Game Changer Wrestling, with Orange Cassidy and Nick Gage. And Orange Cassidy did the hands in the pocket routine, and Nick Gage pulled out a staple gun and stapled his pockets to his hands. So I guess that's how you handle that. But anyway, I've been remiss here because we lost a whole file of stuff, and I was supposed to do something on Walking Tall and Rolling Thunder, the Cinema of Vengeance, but somehow it got lost. So I can try to do that now, at least one of them. Walking Tall was 1973. Could have been the most violent and blood-soaked film of 1973. It was based on the life of real-life Sheriff Buford Pusser. And he was a professional wrestler, Army vet, whatever, came back to his town. Originally he was supposed to be played by Bo Swenson, but Joe Don Baker got the role, and him and Buford became very close friends. So close that when Buford was killed, Joe Don wouldn't take the role in Walking Tall too. Like I said, Walking Tall was a violent, vicious film, and it exposed the Southern mob and everything that went with it. Had a great cast of character actors, bad guys, Kenneth Tobey, Gene Evans, Richard X. Slattery, Arch Johnson, a bunch of people, even an evil ex-hooker that ran a prostitution ring. Some crazy shit in there. Basically, the way he worked this was that Buford, went out with his buddy after he came back, and they went to some booze place, gambling place, and Buford saw how the thing was rigged, and basically there was a brawl, and Buford was sliced up with switchblades, dumped in a ditch, and left for dead. Well, he went to testify in court, and of course the sheriff's corrupt, played by Gene Evans. His witness, his buddy Lottie, got killed, was found dead. So he had no recourse. So he decided to run for sheriff against the corrupt sheriff. The corrupt sheriff tries to run him off the road, and it gets himself killed. The bad guys try to get Deputy, played by Bruce Glover, to swear that Buford ran the sheriff off the road. He refuses. Buford wins the election and vows to clean up the town. Well, there are attempts on his life. He is shot. Callie's bartender, Zoltan, played by former professional wrestler Pepper Martin, decides to take a shot at him, literally, with a shotgun, kills his dog, and winds up getting killed. Callie tries to set him up. There's a robbery. She robs this jewelry salesman on Christmas Day. He gets called to the bar. There's gunplay, and Callie takes one right through the eye and splatters her head against the mirror. Like I say, the violence here is intense. When Buford goes back into the bar to get revenge and starts clocking people with this 2x4, every shot he takes, there's blood spurting all over the place. It leads up that Buford goes out with his wife to answer a call one morning, and they're gunned down by machine gun fire. The end, Buford gets out of the hospital, goes to the place, rams his car right through the thing, killing the last two bad guys, and then the townspeople set the place on fire. Well, of course, part two, like I said, Joe Don Baker decided not to take the role, out of respect for Buford. So the original pain in the ass, and I say that for a reason, Bo Swenson was brought in. First thing he did was insult Buford's real-life daughter by saying she needed to lose weight. I have never heard a good thing said about Bo Swenson. He blew off an appearance at Cinema Wasteland for no reason. In an old Psychotronic video magazine, there was like a 3-piece article interview with Bruce Glover, and at the end of the interview it said that Bruce Glover only agreed to do the interview if nobody brought up his co-star, Bo Swenson. Second movie was toned down to a PG-13. The bad guys were Lucas Q, John Davis Chandler, and Richard Jekyll as this race car driver slash killer named Studs Pardee. It's pretty much laid back. Logan Ramsey is John Witter. He was in the first one as the sleazy, mafia connection, Southern mob connection. He's also in all 3 of the movies as the sleazy John Witter guy. 2, was okay. There was a lot of car chase scenes, obviously shot for the Southern drive-in crowd. So we segued around to number 3, which basically had nothing. The main bad guy was Morgan Woodward, who was more like a cameo. Another former pro wrestler turned actor, H.B. Haggerty, was one of the bad guys. You would recognize him. He's a bald guy with the big handlebar mustache. And Robert Phillips was another bad guy who was also one of the MPs in the Dirty Dozen, who wound up to be one of Lee Marvin's drinking buddies. This basically follows the whole thing where Buford was going to go play himself in the second movie and going out for the screen test, yada, 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 and being set up and getting shot. I would say, the first one's definitely worth a watch, but I've noticed when you get to the third one, Noah Beery Jr. is no longer there. I guess he had it, and he's replaced by Forrest Tucker, his grandpa. The kids are still there. Bruce Glover's still there, but only in a couple cameo spots. Like I said, it seems that a lot of people just didn't like Bo Swenson and didn't want to work with him. So, like I said, the first one is well worth watching. It's a violent, nasty movie which mirrors the attitude of the time, 1973. And, great cast of heavies, a lot of action, and a great director, Phil Carlson. Now, another one I missed that was supposed to go with this was 1977's Rolling Thunder, starring William Devane, Tommy Lee Jones, James Best, and Lucas Q. This one, where Tommy Lee and William Devane are prisoners of war in Vietnam that are brought back home to Texas, and the William Devane character is given a silver dollar for every day he spent in captivity. So there's like, I guess, I don't know, a couple $1,000s in silver there. Well, of course, they do this on TV, and it attracts the wrong people. A bunch of bad guys show up at his house, try to get the money away from him, being that, and he also had a couple of scenes where basically he was tortured so much that he got used to it and it didn't bother him. In fact, he sort of liked it. So they're trying to do all kinds of shit to him, burn him with a cigarette, beat him up, stuff like that. Finally, they shove his hand down a garbage disposal. And this scene was cut because when they pulled it out, they used a lamb shank, and I guess at the test screenings, a couple people puked and fainted. So unfortunately, his wife and kid come home. The kid tells where the money is, and James Best and the rest of them execute the family and leave him there alone. He's playing dumb because when he got home, he found out that his wife had honestly thought he was dead and was hooking up with the sheriff's deputy, and that wasn't going too well. The sheriff's deputy is pushing him for information. He claims he doesn't have it, but he knows where these guys are. He hooks up with the barmaid, played by Linda Haynes, who gave him the silver dollars, and he goes hunting down into Mexico and things like that. And he finds out that, one guy's name is Automatic Slim and Fat Ed and shit, and there's a bunch of stuff going on. One Mexican guy starts giving him shit, and he slams his hook through the guy's hand, pinning it to the table. After he gets the information, he pulls the hook out, and he goes, "You better have that looked at. You could lose a hand that way." It all ends in a Mexican whorehouse where he picks up Tommy Lee Jones and tells him what's going on, and they go, "These people don't deserve to live." So they go down there, and Tommy Lee's character is supposed to go in, pick up a hooker, and wait for the signal. So he's in bed with this hooker, and this hooker's getting dismayed because he isn't working out properly. So while she's working on him, you see his hand dip into a duffel bag and start assembling a rifle. So when William Devane gets into the thing, his thing was to tap on the shotgun like 3 times when he's walking down the hall. Then Tommy Lee starts assembling the gun, and the hooker goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm just going to kill a bunch of people." So William Devane kicks open the door where the James Best character is and blows his hand off with the shotgun, then puts the shotgun shell right through his chest. Big shootout, a lot of people getting killed. Tommy Lee and William Devane absorb a lot of lead. They blow away Luke Askew and basically stagger out, for whatever reason. Mortally wounded or not, I don't know. James Best wanted to work with Tommy Lee and William Devane, but was loath because of the language in the film, but he did it anyway, and he's constantly sweating, and the reason he was doing that was he decided to put ice cubes under his hat where to simulate the sweat pouring down his face. Both Tommy Lee Jones and William Devane went on to much bigger and better things. But this is one of these classic, Vietnam vet exploitation films that has been copied in so many times in so many different forms by so many other directors. Again, great stuff. Both available on Blu-ray and DVD, and I urge you to check them out. And I'm really hoping that, we see something good come out of AEW after this. Maybe this guy finally got his head straightened on and is not going to be a fucking mark like I thought he was. And on that subject, a good friend of mine, Mr. Insanity Toby Klein, has started his own wrestling promotion, Addicted to Wrestling. Their debut show will be in Bucyrus at the Fairgrounds on October 15th, I believe. Probably find it on Facebook. When I get more information, I'll post it. But the main event will be Mr. Insanity Toby Klein coming out of retirement to face deathmatch legend Madman Pondo. Also, another deathmatch legend Tank will be there, Deranged, Jake Christ, and some other guys. So definitely worth checking out. Toby told me he wants to get me involved in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. Being that week is when my dog's going to have surgery, so I sort of got to hang around here, but we'll see how it goes. I would like to do something, maybe, commentary or whatever. It'd be cool, but we'll take it as it comes. So maybe next time I'll figure out how to lift this curse, or maybe Tony Khan will forgive me and get Danhausen to take it off me. I don't know. But until then, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in. Above all, stay safe, and we'll see you when this shit wears off.